We are going to move away from the Chris Murphy, Elizabeth Warren call for, the traditional background checks and magazine capacity limitations and the things they always call for. And we are going to move into concealed carry, open carry, and in states like Wisconsin that are considering constitutional carry, this is going to become a general discussion about gun control. To that end, I've got Tim Schmidt on the phone with me. Some of you may have met Tim. I've met Tim. I don't know if he remembers. He is the president and founder of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. The very first Concealed Carry Expo actually was U.S. Concealed Carry Association, and you were there, Tim. Good to have you on the program.
Hey, Vicki, great to be here. And of course I remember meeting you. Come on.
I'm me, Tim. I'm me. No, I'm kidding. I'm right about this. In fact, I've already pulled up a couple of articles talking about Nevada's incredibly lax gun laws because they allow open carry without a permit, and they are a shall-issue state. So if you meet, quote, minimal background requirements, you can get a concealed carry license in the state of Nevada. Concealed carry, open carry, none of this has anything to do with Las Vegas. And yet, the stories have already gotten to concealed carry, open carry, and constitutional carry. And, of course, we're considering constitutional carry in Wisconsin.
Yeah, we are, and it's a good decision. And it's amazing to me that less than, 36 hours from the situation, and now, people are already politicizing it. I mean, when I say people, I mean the left. And I mean, ultimately, these people, all they're trying to do is just, put forth their anti-gun leftist agenda, and they'll use any possible, event that they can to promote that, which to me is, like I said, it's offensive and it's just wrong.
It began like this. Your concealed carry gun wouldn't have helped you because it was a gun-free area. The festival grounds were a gun-free area. Well, your concealed carry wasn't going to help you. He was shooting from the 34th floor. As if who went to concealed carry first? It wasn't me. It wasn't people like me or like you, Tim. It was like, well, I guess your concealed carry license didn't help you there. Like that somehow has an impact on the overall debate or the overall wisdom of concealed carry.
Yeah, and just that angle that they're taking there really just goes to show that what they're really interested in is trying to just minimize or kind of make the case that anything that us pro-gun people believe in is just wrong, and it's almost like no, it didn't work out for you, and when really the situation is the same as if some crazed lunatic drove a truck through a crowd, right? I mean, you could have just as many fatalities, and would people be talking about the truck? Oh my goodness,
never.
We have to put controls on these dangerous trucks. It's so transparent, and it's just crazy.
I think and I mean the motivation I think behind this is if the left acquiesces to individual citizen initiative to protect him or herself in the event of a crime or fear of death or great bodily harm. That is an argument for the individual initiative. That is an argument for an actualized citizen. It gets in the way of this idea that somehow government is the great benefactor and can be there to protect you. The simple reality is that the police officer typically is going to show up after the crime has been committed. And so the question is whether or not you think it should be okay for people to protect themselves either before the crime happens or while it is going on.
Yeah, that's so well said, Vicki. And the left consistently ignores facts like the fact, 1.5 million to 2.5 million times a year, responsible, legally armed citizens stop crimes. I mean, they stop rapes, they stop assaults, they stop burglaries. And of course, that never gets reported, but I mean, that's how often it happens. On top of that, think about this. So in Chicago alone this year, 2017, 4,000 people have been murdered by guns in Chicago. Chicago has hands down some of the toughest gun laws in the country. So, my goodness, further restrictions does nothing to stop crime.
No, it doesn't. And so what you're left with is the left trying to find ways to keep moving the goalpost. So, when you say, okay, well, Las Vegas has nothing to do with a constitutional carry bill. It has nothing to do with open carry. It has nothing to do with concealed carry. When you point that out, they'll move on to something else, and then they'll try to tack back. And we've already seen that happen in Wisconsin, where we are considering a constitutional carry bill in Wisconsin. I'd like to see that get an up or down vote, but the left also recognizes that politicians tend to be the weaker among us, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. And hopefully they think they can sort of use that spaghetti strategy of throwing it against the wall and hoping it sticks in order to get enough Republicans, in this case in Wisconsin, enough Republicans to not want to advance that bill for a full vote.
Yeah, which, again, will be a huge mistake. I mean, you look at there's 11 states that have successfully passed constitutional carry. And, of course, there's absolutely no problems in those states. And ultimately, if you truly believe that personal protection, that self-defense is the natural-born right, well, then you shouldn't have to beg your state government for a plastic piece of, a plastic card that says, oh, yes, you can carry a gun. That's crazy.
Well, but it is how it always goes. Tell me about the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. I don't know how many people are familiar with this. I think not a lot of people know that there's an organization out there that's helping educate people, that's helping to provide access for training materials, that's even offering products that can protect you in the event that you do, hopefully not have to, but in the event you do have to use your gun in self-defense.
Right. Yeah. So you're right. It's in little old Wisconsin, or little old West Bend, Wisconsin.
West Bend.
Yep. That's where the USCCA was founded, and we have over 250,000 members right now, all across the country. And ultimately, we do education, training, and we provide self-defense insurance protection. So if you're in a situation where you're forced to use your gun in self-defense, we swoop in. We have over 550 pro Second Amendment criminal defense attorneys who are literally waiting for our members to need help. And then we come in also with the deep pockets so that we make sure that they have the best.
Is it a separate? Attorney. Is that a separate policy, or does that attach to your homeowners insurance policy?
Nope, it's a separate policy. It's
standalone.
Standalone policy is underwritten by an A-rated American insurer. It is. We're the pioneers in the industry, and by far the biggest. Now, the NRA has decided to throw their hat in the ring, but we welcome the competition because ultimately the consumer wins. Yeah,
ultimately, you're just going to say we got to make sure our product's the best product. They're kind of new to the game. I was sort of surprised that you were the only one for the longest time. Otherwise, what we were doing, I remember, calling up on my homeowner's policy and saying, "Can I get a rider that will assist me in the event that I have to use my gun to defend myself?" And more often than not, I was told no, or I was told, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right. So 93% of homeowners and umbrella policies do not cover intentional acts of self-defense. And a lot of people are surprised by that. And quite frankly, that's why our product works so well. And we've got a great track record. We've kept literally hundreds of our members out of bankruptcy and out of jail for doing something that you and I would do at this very second.
Yeah, and you don't think about it, but you ought to think about it if you have a concealed carry license. Where can people learn more? Because it's a great resource. You've got, I get your magazine, and it's very interesting. It's not just filled with ads. There's really good stuff. So you guys do a really good job of trying to get as much information, the newest information, update people on their legal rights. Where can folks learn more?
So it doesn't matter if people are just starting their journey or if they're, a dyed-in-the-wool gun person. Just go to USCCA.com, and there's tons of free resources and info to get them started. Yeah,
and by the way, at USCCA.com, there's a bunch of, there's no paywall there. You can just click on the articles and read all that stuff yourself and get a better sense of what's going on. Well, good to have you on the program, but, keep your head up because tomorrow or the next day, Tim, it's going to move from the specifics of Las Vegas to the general problem the left always has with citizens like you and me that just don't want to find ourselves, praying that we're going to be able to get to 911 fast enough or that we don't get too seriously injured in a crime when the police show up. So thanks for being on the show today.
My pleasure. Take care.
Tim Schmidt from the U.S. Concealed Carry Association, president and founder of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. I'll be right back.